These missions can't be good for Caretaker's blood pressure. That's twice now her precious hunter has almost gotten smacked by Hydra. I know this entire situation's gotta suck for you. Not just the whole resurrected, chosen one thing. I get why facing Lilith won't be easy. I was 15 when I found out my mother was capital E evil.
Sorry to hear you went through that.
It was bad, but I learned to deal with it. It's the only way forward, right? Look, I'm glad my mother is gone, but yeah, at times I just want to hear her voice again. Some days I'd give anything to make that happen. Makes me hate her even more.
I did not realize you carried such pain.
I just learned to bury it. You think I can afford a therapist on a superhero salary? I'm kidding. We don't get paid for this. Enough about our crappy parents. You missed out on decades of good movies. It's my solemn duty to fill this knowledge gap with the best examples I can provide. So, the first thing you need to know, the glowing briefcase is a metaphor. Can we do it again? So, what did you think of the movie?
I understood more than I should.
How? You've been dead for 3 centuries.
I'm not so sure I was dead. Not exactly. I recall a deep slumber, not the void. I dreamt.
Of what?
Of everything. Much of this world is familiar to me. I know it from my dreams.
That's not creepy at all. So, do you know everything?
No, think of it like this. I know what a car is, but I have no idea how to drive.
You're up to date, but not omniscient. Then I'm guessing you don't know much about me.
Just what you shared earlier.
You're always free to ask. Like, what's the Staff of One? Or who were the Runaways?
I had some questions about your old team.
The Runaways? Sure thing.
Were you all heroes who banded together?
No, we were normal kids. We saw each other once a year when our parents got together to reminisce. And then we found out 2 very disturbing things. First, our parents were supervillains who sacrificed children to evil gods. Second, each of us had some sort of powerful birthright. Our parents wanted us to follow in their footsteps.
What did you do?
We ran, but eventually we realized only the 6 of us could stop our parents and their dark gods, so we faced them and stopped them from destroying reality as we know it. You know, typical kid stuff.
Who was on the team?
At first, Chase with his mad science gear, Molly, our pint-sized powerhouse, Carolina, the solar-powered sweetheart. Gert had a telepathic link to Old Lace, a genetically engineered Deinonychus from the 87th century. I handled the blood magic, though I didn't understand it much. And Alex, well, we don't talk about Alex.
Where are your friends now?
Molly attends Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. Carolina left Earth to marry alien nobility. Gert, she didn't make it. After Gert passed, Chase and I had a falling out. The last I heard, he and Old Lace are living at his family home in LA. As for Alex, he chose his side, and it wasn't ours. He died with our parents.
I had some questions about your staff.
Sure. But first, the basics. The Staff of One interprets words or phrases as spells, but it can only cast a spell once. No repeats.
If each magical effect is unique, do you worry you will run out of words?
Not really. I only use the staff's power when I truly need it. The rest of the time, I rely on more conventional means. Like, magic.
I should get going.
Good timing. Looks like Caretaker wants to speak with you, and wow, I should get to bed. Time flies when you're hanging out.
I'm glad to see you're using your free time productively. Looks like you're finding your way around. Maybe making some new friends.
I was planning on getting some rest, but
Things are moving at a frantic pace. For all we know, I'll be landing a jet on the roof with Mr. Stark this afternoon. Not quite like it was in the good old days.
I remember many sleepless nights and blood-soaked days. Always on the hunt.
I'll give you that. But there were times back then I wouldn't trade for anything. With both you and...
Agatha. Where is Agatha?
I am sorry. I should have had this talk with you much sooner. But you should know... Agatha... She's no longer with us.
What? Agatha's power.
Agatha died in an accident caused by her protege, Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch. The Midnight Sun's latest recruit, a powerful spellcaster in her own right. Perhaps the most powerful Agatha and I had ever seen. Wanda's abilities were growing. Too quickly for my liking. Agatha was determined to help her control them. I tried to caution her, but she would not listen. There was an incident. An accident, I'm sure, but...
Agatha was killed.
Yes, incinerated in an instant. Not even ash to remember her by. The others were heartbroken, as was I. But I also saw the danger, the threat, if Wanda's powers were left unchecked. So I did what needed to be done. I sent Wanda away, to the Sanctum Sanctorum, to study under Doctor Strange. I know the others still harbor a great deal of resentment towards me for it.
Wanda's powers were so out of control they cost a life. Your decision may have saved lives, if not the entire Abbey.
I like to believe that, especially given her current situation. Wanda, Agatha, it seems we have lost them both now. I conjured a small shrine to Agatha's memory on the grounds, hoping to find some solace, a way to move forward. You should pay your respects. Maybe you'll find what I couldn't. Good night, Hunter.
Agatha!
You always did have the most remarkable eyes, Hunter. Just like your mother's. Maybe that's why you're the first.
The first?
To commune with the spirits, of course.
Is this a trick of some kind? Because I am not amused.
No, it's no trick, dear. You're just the first to see me. By now you've heard I had a bit of trouble with my corporeal body. I actually find it quite liberating.
You are dead.
Always straight to the heart of things. That's my Hunter.
You seem strangely at ease about this whole thing.
After 1,000 years of living, you learn to take things in stride. Even death.
And what have you been doing all this time?
Meet me by the cave just over.
Place.
I think we can safely lift the veil on a few more of our secrets. What's the worst that can happen? Ominous-looking portal is known as a blood gate, and you're the only one among us who can pass through it.
Bloodgate? Caretaker's handiwork?
Yes, Sarah got a little overprotective after the accident with Wanda. It's become something of a habit for her.
I have noticed that.
What lies beyond is meant for you, as much as it ever was for her. Assuming you're up to the challenge, that is.
You know I am.
I do. But it's always polite to ask.
Ominous indeed.
Is it? There was a time when the blood stood within these celestial halls to prove their worth. This particular arena belongs to a goddess who often favored Sarah, Ashtor.
Sarah, caretaker, was here?
Nothing ever comes easy, dear. The Elder Gods felt their descendants needed to earn their blessings, which is why they created these trials to begin with.
Trials? I should have known.
This entire realm exists for that purpose. Trial by combat, with no chance of outside interference.
And this is my challenge.
Yes, but I may have found a loophole they never considered. Why don't you try summoning your four-legged friend?
Charlie?
The old gods are responsible for a great many creations, including your faithful companion. I think even they tend to forget that. Good luck, dear. As the goddess of balance and order, Ashtor was sometimes called the Giver of Justice. You can expect a fair fight, or at least her idea of one.
Leave some for the rest of us. I saw a move like that once, centuries ago. You were too weak for this fight. Your fate is sealed. Your mother abandons you. Feel my call.
Good girl, Charlie. Oh, and you too, Hunter. You finished this trial, but don't worry. The other gods are waiting.
This looks like a
Sarah was right to be wary of this place. But it's your birthright, and I think after everything you've been through, you can handle it now. The two Your lineage follows an unbroken line to the old gods themselves. And if you call upon them, you might just find they're actually listening. They won't work miracles for you, but their blessings can be quite useful in the right circumstance. Why don't you ask the goddess Ashtur for her aid in dealing with that barrier over there?
Noble Ashtur guides my hand.
After all this time, it's still just as beautiful as the first time I laid eyes on it. It's hard to believe Lilith and Caretaker brought this place all the way from Transia. Of course, it was no coincidence that they wound up so close to Salem. This area is particularly attuned to the forces of magic. That's why the Elder God's influence was so prevalent here. And why our sanctuary here has remained all but impregnable over the centuries. And now I'm rambling on like an old sorcerer supreme. Why don't you come see me in the library tomorrow night? Oh, and let's keep this just between the two of us for now. I'm afraid Sarah, Caretaker, isn't ready to see me yet. Good night, Hunter.
What you doing, Charlie?
Is this thing on? Hunter, please come to the forge at your earliest convenience. Again, that's Hunter to the forge. Thank you. Strange out.
Hey, for someone they just dug up, you look pretty fresh.
Hunter, just in time. His royal weirdness and I were deciding what to do with that nasty little Hydra gift box you found.
Ah, yes. The spooky crate?
The very one. Though it is far from any mere container, I assure you. I am detecting powerful emanations from inside. If this is a sign of what Hydra is after, I fear we are all in grave danger.
My offer still stands. I could fly the thing up and nuke it in orbit. Only way to be sure.
Or we could open it, Tony, and perhaps use the mystical energies I sense inside to our advantage.
Yeah, I heard a we in there. Green goopy gamma serums are one thing. I'm not opening boxes full of mummy curses.
You don't have to. Hunter?
Good girl, Charlie.
If Hydra is now working to acquire mystical antiquities, then our situation is very dire indeed. We need to find a way to gain the upper hand.
And you think you can do it with whatever's in the container?
Tony has one of the greatest scientific minds that I've ever seen. I, of course, have an unparalleled understanding of the mystic arts. I have no doubt that we can find a way to research whatever we find in there and have it work in our favor. I just wonder what it could be.
I would be highly suspicious of anything that Hydra has had in its possession. My advice would be to do what Tony says. Destroy whatever is in there immediately.
With all due respect, Hunter, that would be short-sighted and foolish. For one thing, it's very, very hard to dispose of magical items. The repercussions are sometimes unexpected. Besides, I need all the magical items I can get.
And why is that?
Right now, with the Sanctum out of my reach, I'm fighting with one hand tied behind my back. Metaphorically, that is. If I can find items to research, I can give the Midnight Suns every possible advantage over Lilith and her disciples.
I look forward to seeing what you come up with.
Me too, Hunter. Now, all this talk is going nowhere unless we can get this container open and study what's inside. Step up to the anvil, Hunter. It doesn't bite. Well, hello there. What have you brought me today? By the hoary hosts of Hoggoth, I can hardly believe it.
What? Is it worse than you expected?
No, it's totally unexpected. It's the Eternity Dagger. This was in a place of honor in my bedchamber in the Sanctum for years. The Sanctum Sanctorum is no common domicile to be burglared. These barbarians have no idea what they possessed.
Or perhaps they did. Maybe these artifacts are exactly what Faustus and my mother were after to begin with.
A distressing thought. If they had my dagger, then who knows what others of my priceless possessions have passed through their greedy fingers. The cube of nothingness. The tear of Profia, and most worrisome of all.
Your toothbrush? You, had a little coffee thing going on this morning with your breath?
Oh, Tony.
Sorry. Doc's right, Hunter. I drank 3 glasses of holy water just to walk through the Sanctum's front door. Place is like a doomsday vault for all sorts of supernatural nastiness. We need to put a lid on this mess. Pronto.
I believe Carol is already working on it.
At last. Now that this artifact has been returned to its proper owner, we shall see if we can make use of the mystic forces contained within. A simple object, though certainly not useless.
Got more coil for me? This never gets old. You're welcome, Hunter. How long did you say you were exposed to this thing? It's probably fine. Tony is working.
Hunter. Got a sec to spare?
Fascinating. Interesting. Curious.
You moving into the Forge, Hunter? You've been here more in the past few days than I have since... ever. The Forge is pretty badass, but the creature trapped inside riles up my own inner demon. Speaking of, there's something you should know about me.
You are bonded with a spirit of vengeance?
Damn, you're good! How could you tell?
You are not the first spirit of vengeance to join the Midnight Suns. I fought beside another, just a few days... 3 centuries ago.
Oh man, sometimes when I have crap to work through, I like to get my blood pumping. Why don't we hit the yard for a sparring session? I know Sparky's excited to meet you.
Sparky?
That's what I call my spirit of vengeance. His real name is something you'd see written on a symbol, but with like 12 apostrophes. Also, he's not allowed inside after the incident with caretaker Sumerian Sofa.
I am the Scourge of the Lilin. My name is whispered in fear across the 7 hells. When I fight, I make war, not make-believe, Robbie. Be sure your Sparky is ready to do the same.
Damn, Hunter! You talk the same kind of smack that he does. Okay, let's do this. I'll get Blade to set things up. Won't take a minute.
I will head to the yard. When you and Sparky trade places, what does he look like?
He's the guy with the flaming metal skull and hellfire chains. Kinda hard to miss.
What is this?
Hunter, ready to get your burn on? I'm talking training with Ghost Rider.
Spirits of vengeance train the hardest. Bad guys better start running. The time for punishment is here. Like playing with fire, huh?
No pain, no gain. Do your thing. Think Doctor Strange.
Hellfire Forge is the strongest.
Hunter, report to the war room. We've got a mission.
You called for me, Captain?
Keep telling ya, Carol works too, but yeah, I did. Now that Tony's finally starting to get a handle on his gremlin problem, I've been able to put Central to good use. Got a lead on some particularly gnarly Hydra operations happening in the city. But we need to move fast if we want to intercept them in time.
Then let's get going.
My thoughts exactly. There's just one problem, though. We seem to have lost our gatekeeper, Magic.
Lost?
Well, I updated her on the mission. She said something I can only assume to be a prolific swear word in Russian and disappeared. Literally. And with no magic...
There's no passage to New York, or anywhere for that matter.
Now you see my problem.
Every second we delay is a victory for Lilith. I have little patience for child's games in the midst of our war.
No argument there. Look, I don't know if you've noticed it, but she seems to like you. I've known Magic just about as long as you have, and all I've gotten from her is a few grunts and words I'm afraid to translate. Maybe you'll do better.
Fine. I will retrieve her.
Well, when you phrase it like that, I'm sure she'll just be begging to help. Good luck, Hunter.
I shall return shortly.
Fingers crossed.
If you've come to ask me where Magic is, the answer is, I don't know. She doesn't talk to me very much anymore. She blames me for Wanda. I fear if she doesn't let her go, it will cost us all. Go find her and talk some sense into her, will you? We don't have much time.
I usually just wing it out there.
Robbie, have you seen Magic?
No, but there were some pretty crazy energy flashes coming from the dorms a few minutes ago. It usually means she wants to be left alone. Trust me on that.
Thanks, Robbie. Who is a good girl? It is my Charlie girl.
Yo, it's good to see you.
This room belonged to the Scarlet Witch, did it not?
Wanda. It belongs to Wanda. Let me guess. You are to ask me to do the one thing the others value me for. Opening their precious portal. Well, I am in the middle of something. Come back later.
It is never easy to lose a comrade. I know this too well.
We did not lose Wanda. We let her go. Before any of this started. Wanda's first grimoire. Agatha gave it to her when she was teaching her witchcraft, the dark arts. She was trying to help Wanda control her powers. She would never let me read it. So now I read it.
That is no child's book. Lose focus for 1 second and be lost completely within its pages. Let me guide you through it.
You do not own the darkness, Hunter. I was also raised within it. So much so I barely remember a time without it. And now Wanda has this in common with us too. I know what she's going through. To come face to face with true evil itself. To be dragged to some hell dimension so hot that your soul is scorched black. Your heart so filled with soot that it chokes out all the bright parts of you. Until you are just a dark thing of smoke and ash. I cannot let such a fate happen to her.
Then put the damn book down, and help me get her back.
You are nothing if not direct. Not to mention unrelenting. I can respect that. And perhaps you are not entirely incorrect. Okay, I will open your damn portal. It is times such as this that I wish someone else here could drill holes through space and time. Perhaps Doctor Strange should spend less time tinkering with Tony Stark in the Forge and focus more on his magic. No matter. I will be there when you are ready, Hunter. Goodbye. Yes, hello.
I take it you found our gatekeeper. Then let me explain what's going on. When Hydra isn't preoccupied with world-ending scenarios, they spend a lot of their free time terrorizing the citizens of New York through various low-level operations. It's fairly routine stuff for heroes these days, and worst case, we'll still get some fresh intel in the process. Why don't you check the mirror table and see what we've got on our plate? I did the math. It would actually be faster for me to fly.
So what is stopping you?
The shockwave would shatter most of the glass in my approach path.
Ah, that is not good.
Yeah, I try to be considerate.
We're sending you straight to the coordinates Captain Marvel identified in New York. Dr. Banner has confirmed that the gamma signatures in the area match the...
Never surrender!
Looks like Captain Marvel was right on the...
Heroes. A single world-ending calamity is never enough to satiate your appetite for destruction. You insist on meddling further, forcing our hand yet again.
Oh, that's just lovely. Faustus has a radio. I'm assuming whatever Hydra is attempting to flee with on that chopper is our target. I suggest we stop it and see for ourselves.
More than so it begins. Even the gods would not stand before us as arrogantly as you have.
Your fate is sealed. Hail that! Even for Hydra.
Forever in service. Follow my lead.
You will pay for your mistake.
Support units on the move.
You don't even know what it is you're pursuing. The Gamma Disruptor you so narrowly escaped with in our last encounter was only the beginning.
Show yourself to me, Faustus, and I will open more than your eyes.
Ferocious spirit. You truly are your mother's child, Hunter.
Watch this.
You have earned this!
bad.
I don't have magic healing. We will never forsake her.
You're still not ready to give up?
Your death won't be in vain.
This will be...
The last thing we need is for that pompous buffoon to win today. Stop that chopper, please.
With pleasure.
So that's how that works.
You had this coming. You know you're too strong.
We will never forsake her. As ordered.
You just made a big mistake.
Our loyal soldiers aren't the simple punching bags you've come to expect, are they? Somehow these humans, these mere mortals, dare to stand against ye fearsome gods. All is possible with Mother!
Take this.
Which arm are you guys again?
Arm D, B team, third string.
desertion rate is for Hydra lackeys.
They got away.
Do not worry, heroes. You will still witness the results of my work firsthand. On the field of battle. Hail Hydra!
So it's... The gods will not stand before us as arrogantly as you have.
Hail that!
Take this!
I saw a move like that once, centuries ago.
For the mother!
Engaging target!
Be ready for my retaliation!
Hardly a scratch.
Arm Gamma on the move! You know what to do! You don't even know what it is you're pursuing. The Gamma Disruptor you so narrowly escaped with in our last encounter was only the beginning.
Show yourself to me, Faustus. And I will open more than your eyes.
Such ferocious spirit. You truly are your mother's child, Hunter.
The light is on our side.
Thank you, friend.
for Hydra.
Shoot up here!
You are lucky to still be breathing.
You'll suffer an eye for an eye.
Taking the shot!
Luckily, I'm a glutton for punishment.
I'm going to get you for this.
Awaiting reinforcements.
You're ready now.
Hydra! The last thing we need is for that pompous buffoon to win today. Stop that chopper, please.
With pleasure.
That will do. What is it like being so inconsequential?
Was that truly your best?
By her command.
You can't chip away at me like some tree.
You cannot stop me like that.
Our loyal soldiers aren't the simple punching bags you've come to expect, are they? Somehow these humans, these mere mortals, dare to stand against ye fearsome gods. All is possible with Mother!
Not good! Not good!
You make that look almost too easy.
was a failure, Hydra would throw in the towel already. These monsters are wild and unpredictable. These Rentamurks have no gumption.
You've grounded the helicopter. Excellent. Now you'll need to clean up the rest of Hydra's forces.
Getting old.
For years, I was considered a crazed zealot in the Hydra Cabal, obsessed with the old race. But then we detected the convergence of the Midnight Sun.
Tell me about it. Actually, I will not waste this opportunity.
This will prepare.
Possibly match your strength.
So that's how that works. Not a problem.
Now that was something.
Ready?
I am impressed.
Hydra!
Okay, that hurt a little. Consider it done.
Interesting.
It's the best I can do for now.
Well done. Seems like that's the last of them.
Last? There are more heads to the Hydra than you will ever comprehend, heroes. This is a minor setback at most.
Okay, I consider that alone a victory. Well done. If Hydra wasn't paying attention before, they are now. Stay sharp.
Count on it. Feeling a chill, Magic?
You could say that. I've been staring at the night sky trying to figure it out.
Figure what out?
You're observant, Hunter. You tell me.
I am not a mind reader, Magic. Speak plain.
You know, Hunter, one of the things I like about you is your intolerance for bull. Even from me.
Stop speaking in riddles and just tell me what is on your mind.
It is not what's on my mind I'm worried about.
What worries you then?
When I was holding the trans-dimensional door for you back there, I sensed something was at the docks with you. Something dark and familiar.
What did you see, Ileana?
I did not see. I said I sensed something there. But that's not the only thing I sensed today.
Oh?
Something has shifted in Limbo, but I cannot quite put my finger on it. All I know is that whatever is happening is also strangely familiar to me. And when all you knew was darkness and despair growing up, that warm, fuzzy feeling of familiarity is not just a warning sign, but an alarm bell.
I know what you mean. Danger is something I am a little too comfortable with myself. Reminds me of my mother. There is almost a comfort in it.
Yes, you understand. Not many can. I'd like to be left to my thoughts now, Hunter. I still have a lot of thinking to do, while I try to make sense of what I felt at the docks and the energetic shifts that ripple through Limbo. I will let you know if I do.
Hunter.
The hunter stalks its prey.
Why do you have so much money?
Is a reconstituted revenant about to hit me up for cash, or...?
I mean, what is the point of having so much?
Oh, you aren't kidding. Concept of billionaire didn't exist back then, huh? What's the best way to put this? Money isn't everything, but it's a lot of things. It gets you access, and greases the wheels. If you want to make big changes, money is a necessary evil.
Sounds like you have made peace with it.
Of course not. I do useful things with my money. Most billionaires sit on their wealth so they can become even bigger billionaires. Or worse, they toy with vanity projects so they can lob cars at Venus or write their names across the entire surface of Australia. You know, standard rich idiot nonsense. They never bother to ask, am I making the world better for everyone or just myself? Or worse, they do, and they just don't care. But that's fine. Makes it easier to schedule them for a hostile takeover. Hanging with Tony's always a good time.
Hi, kiddo.
I'm glad to see you're getting comfortable with the words of power, Hunter. If you're going to continue our little investigation of the Abbey, they'll be vital to your success.
Investigation?
A side project, but a potentially transformative one. With my blessing, Wanda was working to uncover what may be the most powerful.
Just what in the hell do you think you're doing in here?
Standing in the library?
I've given you free rein so you could get back on your feet, but I never thought you'd pull something like this.
What is it you think I am doing, exactly?
Don't be coy. It does not suit you. I told you how hard it's been since we lost Agatha. Instead of letting it rest, you decide to reopen the wound?
Oh, Sarah, I never thought of this place like that.
Of course you didn't. And now, it's done. Why should I ever stand in your way?
That anger wasn't meant for you, dear. You know that, right? Don't hold it against Sarah.
She may try to mask her feelings, but you know she is struggling with what happened. Why are you hiding from her?
For most people, the captivating relationships of their lives are formed over a matter of days. Sarah and I spent centuries together exploring this world, fighting the darkness, watching cities and even nations form and then crumble. And yet we persevered, together.
You still have not answered my question.
It may be difficult to understand, but she needs this time. Sending Wanda away, sealing the library, that elaborate memorial she conjured up, she didn't waste any time trying to bury what happened.
You are right. I do not understand.
It isn't up to me to reveal myself. It's up to her to accept what happened and allow herself to grieve. When that happens, we'll see each other again, but not before.
I trust you will do what is right for Sarah. So, what is it you are looking at here?
Yes, we should get back to the real reason I asked you to meet me here. Wanda's journal. The Abbey grounds have a great deal of history. Many of its secrets remain hidden.
Even to you?
Even to me. Wanda had taken to exploring the grounds in search of a strange energy we both sensed. Knowing that Sarah had no intention of waking you to investigate, Wanda felt it was up to her to take your place. Of course, being the clever girl that she is, her notes are written in an ancient, transient cipher that I've only just begun to understand. Have a look at the first entry. I'm sure it still seems a bit cryptic, but Wanda was definitely onto something. If you remember my altar, that's where she was conducting her experiments.
An investigation that involves experiments. Why do I feel like you are going to get me into trouble?
Since when has that ever stopped you? Let's meet out at the altar. I'll try to do a better job of explaining from there. Charlie will show you the way if you've forgotten.
Interesting. Oster smiled upon me.
Like most things, the eye. Do you remember the words I taught you as a child?
Are you going to make me say it?
Humor an old, dead woman.
Hocus pocus.
You haven't lost your touch, dear. The words may be simple, but these plinths won't appear for just anyone. Each represents one of the basic elements, their power activated only by the elemental rods they would normally be holding.
And where are the elemental rods now?
Scattered to the wind, unfortunately. A side effect of Wanda's experiments here.
Let me guess.
That's right. I want you to find the missing rods and return them here. Hopefully, as I decipher Wanda's journal, her notes will aid in the search.
But you have not actually told me what the greater purpose is here. What are we doing this for?
All in good time, dear. After what happened with Wanda, I'd rather you take things slowly. In fact, I don't want you overthinking this little project. There's no rush, and you don't have to help if you don't feel like it. But there is one more thing before I head back to the library.
An arcane key?
Just a little something. A token for your efforts so far. The key can be used to open that chest nearby. Like so many other oddities around here, those chests tend to appear before those who deserve them most. Make yourself that person.
That seems intentionally vague.
It's more fun that way, isn't it? I'll be in the library working on the translations if you need me, dear. Good luck. Hunter, hello. Feeling well today, dear?
You said something earlier about the blood.
In a world full of mysteries, the Blood have managed to remain even more mysterious than most. They were an ancient race, said to be born of the Elder Gods. As I understand it, they were very strict about maintaining their bloodline. That's probably why you don't hear about them very often. And yet, here you are, one of their direct descendants.
Are there others?
It's quite possible. But even if there are, they might not even know it themselves. Somehow, I take comfort in that.
What they do not know cannot hurt them.
Indeed.
What would Wanda want with your altar?
What can I say? Some people have a curious, adventurous itch that just has to be scratched. I was one of them, and so was Wanda. Caretaker, not so much. But I see it again in you, Hunter.
So you encouraged her exploration?
Of course. Why wouldn't I? What good is being as powerful time cooped up within these walls? What's the worst that could happen? You got me there, dear.
What do you know about the moon seals?
Presumably forged by the gods themselves, I like to think of a moon seal as both a lock and a key. With the right power, wielded by the right person, the energy of the seal is unleashed, creating a conduit to the Elder Gods.
And I am that right person.
Just another benefit of being descended from the Blood. Lucky you, dear.
After our last battle, what happened to Lilith?
You were in the woods. You and your mother obviously came to blows. But we found no wounds, no evidence of what happened at all. A silent, deathly embrace between mother and child. We had hoped you would both find peace in the next life.
But she is not buried here.
No. We entrusted her to the Knights of Wundagore, the ancient protectors of your ancestral homeland in Transia. I don't think they ever expected to contend with an organization like Hydra, and I doubt Lilith spared any who survived her reawakening.
Where did the words of power come from?
While I often call them blessings or gifts of the old gods, the words of power are actually powerful invocations tuned to the unique energies found in descendants of the Blood.
And Caretaker used the words as well.
Of course, dear. Sarah used the words of power on the Abbey grounds just as you do today. Many of the areas you encounter that seem receptive to these spells are actually the result of Sarah's frequent undertakings.
Curious.
Can that real? After all these years, it is good to see your face again.
Wish I could say the same, Mother. Now enough with this deception and reveal your true form.
But this is my true form. The way I was when you were just a sweet, helpless little baby. You don't remember that, do you? Well, I do. Bringing you into the world was the happiest time in my life.
And taking you out of this world again will be mine.
I had thought the words of power would open your eyes. But I should have known my sister and her pet witch would continue to withhold the truth from you.
And what truth is that?
The truth they are keeping from you. You need only.
Wait! Mother! Where did you... Was that really her?
Play the first Stark games. Although that
What's the deal with Spider-Man and Venom anyway? Did they used to date or something? Might be time for a restraining order.
For a recently animated corpse who's missed a few centuries.
Fascinating.
Salutations, Hunter.
Oh, you are gonna love this. We are finally getting some decent tech down here. So, how's the whole saving the world thing going? No peeking now. Take your pick, Hunter. I feel like I could automate this process and take myself out of the loop here. I'm pretty sure Charlie left the steaming coil in the hallway. See you, Hunter. Hey, can I ask a favor? Thanks, Hunter.
Ready for more? Caretaker said I need to be a team player, so I guess I'm letting you choose for me too. All right then.
Hey, Hunter. When you've got a minute, could you meet me in the war room? There you... The intel cache we recovered from Hydra's gunship might seem sophisticated to the casual bystander, but they probably weren't expecting to go up against the likes of me. With Central's help, I can decrypt these babies in no time, providing us a valuable and fascinating glimpse into Hydra's twisted little minds. Any new leads? Tony might take all the credit for this thing, but just imagine where we'd be right now without Ada Lovelace. Okay, what's Hydra up to now? And Hydra rears its ugly head. One of them, anyway. Now that we've decrypted the intel, let's put what we've learned to good use. Check out the available hero ops listed on Central. This should keep... See you soon.
Well, don't leave me in suspense. How are you enjoying the library?
I thought we were past that.
We are, but I'm still allowed to be annoyed with you. I expect a bit of pushback from the others, but not from you, Hunter.
Why not? When have I ever made things easy for you?
You had your moments, few and far between, but that's exactly my point. You know what that place, what she meant to me, and you did it anyway.
The world is at risk of being consumed by Lilith. We cannot afford to leave any stone unturned, even if it means upset.
The last time I gave someone free rein at the library, it cost us dearly. I'm not sure we can handle any more unexpected calamities around here.
At least we are talking now. Silence between us would only make things worse.
You're right about that. We have bigger things to worry about. Like the mouthy alien tormenting Spider-Man as we speak.
He did risk himself for us without hesitation. We owe him for that, at least.
For once, I think the entire team is in agreement. It's only a matter of tracking Venom down.
I would just follow the trail of destruction, but...
I'm sure we'll come up with something. Don't leave poor Spider-Man waiting too long now. Spider-Man didn't think twice when it came time to risk himself by entry from anyone living under my roof.
Got some ops ready for you. handle that. This is definitely the coziest war room I've ever been in. Quiet, too. Bye.
I'm here if you need me. I've got a kid I send on missions sometimes.
We've got a situation rapidly developing. I'll be in contact. Hunter, my second favorite zombie superhero.
Who is your first?
Tony, on 2 hours of sleep. So, what do you need?
I have questions for you.
Sure, ask away.
Tell me about the Avengers.
Sure, what about us?
What are your thoughts on your fellow Avengers?
I'm with the team for a reason. I believe in what we do. All of us do. I'm sure you've noticed Tony can be abrasive, but I never doubt his commitment. He and Banner used to fight like cats in a sack. Thankfully, they seem to be past that. And I can't think of anyone better to deal with a mystical enemy than Doctor Strange. He's a little out of sorts right now, what with being pushed out of his home, but he'll adjust.
Do you think your team can find common ground with the Midnight Suns?
Look, I try not to get involved in team politics. I'll work with anyone who gets the job done. I don't care what team they're from.
Do all the Avengers feel the same?
No comment.
Tell me about yourself, Carol.
What in particular?
Your strength is hard for me to fathom.
With all this gamma weirdness keeping Banner in banner form, I'm Earth's mightiest Avenger. Once Thor realized the Hulk was in a class of his own, he was not happy to be in third place. He still challenges me to arm wrestling contests, and loses. He's much less salty since I started calling him Asgard's mightiest Avenger.
How powerful would you say you are?
When someone says we need to call in the big guns, they're talking about me. The Hulk is an order of magnitude stronger, no question. But he doesn't have my precision, patience, or reliability. At least, that's how Bruce put it.
That much power. And it does not seem to have gone to your head.
I do get cocky sometimes, but I don't take any of this for granted. And I always remember where I came from. Arrogance is like punching the afterburner with your wheels down.
How did Carol Danvers become Captain Marvel?
During my time with the space program, I found myself involved in a conflict between alien species, Kree and Skrulls. I got too close to a device called the Psyche Magnetron, and it completely altered me. A Kree soldier known as Mar-Vell felt responsible for what happened and took me under his wing. He was a hero in his own right, and we fought beside each other for years. He's gone now, but I took the name Captain Marvel as a tribute to what he stood for. Since then, I've made the name my own.
Who were you before you became Captain Marvel?
Air Force pilot. I used to fly the unfriendly skies before I was attached to the space program. And back then, I was entirely human.
You are not entirely human?
Not since I uncovered actual, for-real aliens. There was an accident with some alien tech that rewrote my DNA, and now I'm half Kree.
I have never heard of the Kree.
Neither had I. They have a space empire. It's crazy to think they've been around far longer than you've been alive.
Thank you, Carol.
Anytime. And hey, if you find the time, we should hang out.
I will consider that.
Of course.